Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Finds. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put all kinds of videos here on YouTube. And you should subscribe and hit that little bell icon down below. It'll notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting action. Noticing anything different? What you've stumbled across is Faith's Finds, which is usually a haul. And I went to New York last week. I went to IMATS. It was super fun. And I took almost no vlog footage from it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't even pull out my camera once because I was having too much fun. And it's one of those things, like, I never want to get so caught up in the need to make a video or the need to have content that I miss out on what I'm there to do, if that makes any sense. So I skipped out on vlogging, but I did end up getting a bunch of stuff while I was there. Obviously, I went to IMATS and I got a bunch of makeup related stuff, mostly brushes, which I feel like that would be really boring to show you guys in a haul because I literally just replaced all of my kit brushes with brand new ones. I mostly bought them from Bdellium Tools with a little bit from Cosette as well, but yeah, I mean, I bought, like, literally this bag is like full of brushes. So many brushes. So yeah, I mostly bought brushes. I did buy a couple of other things from Danessa Myricks. I bought my first ever Pat McGrath product. I've never tried Pat McGrath stuff before. And then of course I went to Lemonhead, Los Angeles and bought some glitter because that's what I do every single year. So we went to the BT21 store. We actually went there a couple of times and we bought a shitload of stuff from there. Mostly because I was with my friend Crystal, who, as you guys know, is super into K-pop, and she kind of got me into it, so we got a bunch of stuff from there as well. So basically, I bought a bunch of shit in New York, is what I'm getting at. Because I bought so much, I feel like I can't really fit it all into one haul video, so I'm gonna kind of split this up into parts. I'm going to split it up into the different places that I went throughout my time in New York, and I'm going to tell you guys all about each of the individual things that I bought at those places. The first haul segment I'm going to do is going to all be stuff that I bought from a crystal store that we went to in New York. We went to Namaste Bookshop, which is one of the larger crystal stores in the city. I picked up a few things, so I'm going to show you guys that today, and then in the next coming couple of weeks, we are going to be going over some of the things I bought at Sephora Times Square, as well as the things I bought at the BT21 store, and possibly the things I bought at IMATS itself. So, for now, Namaste Bookshop. Let's get into it, shall we? Namaste Bookshop is a larger crystal store in New York City. It's actually two stores, kind of in two separate buildings. One is a little bit down the street from the other. They have a smaller store that's full of all kinds of metaphysical supplies, books, obviously, but they had an entire wall of tarot cards, which was so cool. And they had a bunch of smaller crystal specimens, but then they have a showroom that's a couple of doors down from that that will showcase some of their larger pieces, where they had a lot of bigger specimens. I got to hold a $1,000 smoky quartz skull, which was really cool. It was like the size of a bowling ball. This thing was huge. Didn't buy that because I didn't have the money in the budget to do so, but I did buy a few little things from there, and I'm going to go over them a little bit. First, I'll start with the kind of not crystal thing that I bought, and that was this pendulum mat. So pendulums are a form of divination where you have this little crystal that's on a chain, and you hang the crystal above a mat that indicates where you know, indicates like things like yes, no, maybe, that sort of stuff. And depending on what direction the pendulum swings, it can answer yes or no questions for you. Pendulums are also used in Reiki healing practices to figure out where negative energy is stored or where chakras may be out of alignment. They can be used to find lost objects. They can be used for all kinds of different things. And I have quite a few pendulums that I've gotten both purchasing myself and as free gifts from Sage Goddess and from various other places. I have a little pendulum collection growing, and I wanted to get a pendulum mat that was more of a permanent fixture. So a lot of my pendulum mats are made of canvas, and I have to roll them out and I have to kind of anchor them down so they don't roll back up again. And so I got this one, which is a fabric cloth pendulum mat. It's beautiful. Like, look at all of this patterning. It's like made of a velvety material. It's got the yes, the no, the maybe, the rephrase questions here, but it also has days of the week. It has numbers, looks like 1 through 9, and then it also has all of the astrological signs. So I get the feeling that this is a multi-use pendulum mat for many different types of divination. So I'm excited to play around with this with my pendulums and see what they make of it. Then I, of course, got some crystals while I was there. I had to. I mean, you know, you're in New York City. I only really go to New York City a maximum of once a year. So this was my first time in Namaste Bookshop ever, so I had to pick up some things. First, I picked up a couple of palm stones. I picked up this rainbow fluorite palm stone, and fluorite is the stone of soul path. It's the soul pathing stone, so it basically tells you what you were put on this planet to do. And rainbow fluorite definitely does that. Rainbow fluorite's a mixture of purple fluorite, green fluorite, there's sometimes some blue fluorite in there. But rainbow fluorite activates the heart and third eye chakras, so super handy stone to have around, and it's just plumb pretty. Like, fluorite, I mean, you know, I know what my soul path is. I sort of have always known that I was meant to teach in some form or another. In this lifetime, I was put on the planet to teach. I truly believe that. And so even though I know my soul's path already, pretty much, I mean, I know a lot of it, I still love having fluorite around because it's such a beautiful stone to look at. And green fluorite, which is also in a rainbow fluorite piece, helps with focus and concentration. So I will often have this with me when I'm working, just so I don't get distracted. I keep it with me when I'm editing videos because it helps me just get it done. I get so easily distracted when I'm trying to edit YouTube videos because editing is such tedious work, but having fluorite around just sort of keeps my mind focused on the task at hand, because I can wander off into la la land sometimes. There is the palm stone, beautiful specimen. You can see that little rainbow there in the bottom. Absolutely gorgeous little piece, and I really enjoy it. The next palm stone I have is blue apatite, and this is a fairly large palm stone. There you go, there she is. She's got some gemmier bits in her, but I was really called to this particular piece. They had a bunch of different shapes and sizes of blue apatite, but this was the one that called to me the most. As soon as I held it, it sort of felt different in my hands, and I was like, ooh, yes, okay, I hear you. All right, I'm taking you home. But this is blue apatite. Blue apatite is such a handy stone to have around. It is a stone of the throat chakra, so this little guy right here. It helps people, it can help you express yourself with clarity and confidence. It helps you speak your truth. It helps with people who maybe have trouble coming up with words to say, or if your throat chakra is overactive, like mine tends to be, it can help keep you from saying things you don't mean. My throat chakra is overactive, so I tend to talk too much and say very little. So this keeps me from repeating myself. It keeps me sort of focused when I'm speaking to other people as well as speaking in public. And I carry this around with me at work because it helps me explain things to people about their skin in a way that doesn't overwhelm or intimidate them. Because I get so excited and so passionate about skincare when I talk about it that sometimes I can overshare information and I can make people feel really overwhelmed. So this helps keep me measured in what I'm saying and make sure that everything is easy to understand for other people. It can also be a good stone of appetite control. Yeah, it's blue apatite. I mean, that makes sense. But it's a stone of appetite control, so it can be great, a great stone to work with if you're trying to lose weight, because it helps with curbing food cravings. It's just like a little planet unto itself. It's so, so stunning. Now for the bigger pieces, pardon my sinuses, I have found out that I am in fact now allergic to pollen, and I never used to be, so allergies are on another level right now. For my next couple of pieces, these are the sort of bigger pieces I got. The first one is a cluster of smoky quartz. And you guys have heard me talk about smoky quartz before. Smoky quartz is a stone of banishing negativity. If you watched my last video, which features a very special carved piece of smoky quartz, go ahead and watch it up in the cards up there if you haven't already. It's a treat, I promise. But if you haven't seen that video, that's okay. Smoky quartz is a stone of banishing negativity. Nothing negative can stand in the presence of smoky quartz, and it's a must-have in my mind. Like if you are new to crystals and you're trying to figure out what you need, smoky quartz is definitely on that list. It's one of my favorite stones to work with. It's super grounding, keeps me connected to the earth, keeps negativity away from me, which as someone who works in a service industry and as someone who works in a service industry that directly involves, you know, sort of interacting with people's energy fields, because I touch people on a daily basis. At my job, I am an esthetician, if you guys didn't know. I do facials and skincare, it's my thing. But facials involve human touch. It involves touching people. And anytime you touch somebody, you're interacting with their energetic field, and you run the risk of picking up negative energy that they've brought into the door. And usually when people get facials from me, they're stressed out, they're carrying a lot around, and I don't need any of that. Carrying smoky quartz with me, keeping it in my treatment pod, helps with deflecting those negative energies. It helps sort of transmute them and send them back into the core of the earth to be healed and transmuted into positive energy and then sent back out into the world. So this is the cluster. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is this? Anytime you turn it, the light just bounces off a million of those different crystal faces and it just shines. I mean, this would be a perfect paperweight. It could be, it's got like a semi-flat back. You've got a few little quartz points, a little smoky quartz point sticking out of the back as well. But you could use this as a bookend. I mean, it's so gorgeous. As soon as I picked it up, I found it like on the back of a shelf. That's what I love about crystal stores, is when you look like deep in the back corners of the shelves, you never know what you're gonna find. And I found this in the back corner of one of the shelves, and as soon as I picked it up, I could not put it back down. And I was like, okay, this needs to go home with me. It's too beautiful, and just all of those different little points and terminations, and just, it's fascinating how many different crystals are sticking out of here when you think about how long it took each of these to form. I mean, it's so mind-blowing, and it's so pretty to look at. There's some visual stimulation for you guys. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Finally, the pièce de résistance, the pinnacle of the crystal haul that I did while I was there. I didn't really buy much because by then I had spent like $450 or $500 on makeup brushes, and I'd spent a ton at Sephora as well, so I was really trying to measure myself and not spend too much. But the last thing I got was from the showroom side of the store. So we went to the big showroom and we were walking around and looking around. Keep in mind, most of the stuff I could not afford because they were gigantic pieces. I mean, huge specimens. You know, some of them are like the size of a table. Like, I mean, just gigantic, gigantic crystals. But I did find one skull that it was just too unique. I was like, I need to take you home. And here he is. Look at this skull. Like, I don't even know what the context of this is. I don't know if there's any significance to the shape or if it's just kind of like, this is what they felt like making. But This guy is so handsome. I mean, look at all those curves and lines. It's just crazy how much work had to go into this. Now, this was just labeled as jasper, which is not really that helpful because there are 1,000,001 different kinds of jasper. I was trying to figure out what type of jasper this is, and I can't really find anything that comes too terribly close. It's not Kambaba jasper. It's not quite rainforest jasper either. But I've been calling it that just because that's the closest thing I could find. It still doesn't look exactly like rainforest jasper. There are some differences, but color-wise and pattern-wise, that's the closest thing I could find to what this might be. So I'm just calling it a rainforest jasper skull. And you know, it's green, which is the color of the heart chakra. I don't know a whole lot about the properties of this particular variety of jasper, but if I find anything out for you guys, I'll let you know in the description box. But this is just so incredibly unique. The face, I mean, the attention to detail on the teeth is just crazy. He looks so happy. He's just like happy to be here. He just wants to be liked. But this carving is just fantastic. I mean, the craftsmanship is excellent. The attention to detail is crazy. And yeah. I mostly just liked how unique the shape was. I mean, it's like an alien skull. It's so cool. So that's about it, guys. That is what I bought from Namaste Bookshop in New York City. If you're ever in New York visiting, I highly recommend stopping by there and checking it out. The people who work there are so nice and helpful. Super chill, super laid back, and they just sort of let you explore. They don't kind of, you know, bother you that much, but if you have a question, they're more than happy to help you. There's so many different types of crystals at that store. And just the variety is absolutely insane, and I highly recommend stopping by there if you're ever in the city visiting. That's about it for this video. Stay tuned in the next couple of weeks because I am going to be coming out with different hauls of what I got at each location that we stopped by. I'll be doing a BT21 haul of the BT21 store, so all my K-pop fanatics, don't worry, I'll be talking about that. And then I'll talk about Sephora Times Square and IMATS itself, where I'll share all of the makeup products that I bought. But in the meantime, in between time, I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt. You know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, you've got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful. Today, I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today. I hope you had a safe and happy Easter if you celebrate, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!